Hey, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another weekly wears video where I go over every single fragrance that I wore all 7 days last week. So if that is content that you want to see more of, be sure to like this video. It really helps me grow the channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you are updated whenever I upload new content. I had a fantastic week. All these fragrances are decent. A couple in here I'm still not sure about, but let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it, starting with Sunday. This first one, absolutely no-brainer for me. Incredible fragrance, one of my favorites. And when we're talking about top 10 fragrances in my collection, and I have quite a few, this is 100% in the top 10. Scent we are talking about is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And it's hard to see through this. Obviously, you have this painted bottle, but maybe there's a little less than a quarter left here. Incredible stuff. And it actually utilizes 3 of my favorite notes: mandarin orange, tonka bean, and mint. There's some black pepper sprinkled in there, adding this sort of mildly spicy effervescence to this fragrance. It really pops off of the skin, gets a lot of attention from me. An easy day to night fragrance, so it's super versatile in that respect. Especially in the summertime, I find myself wanting to reach for this more. It's fresh enough to sort of brighten it up during the day and those really hot days, and then in the evening it has this sort of refinement to it. Like I said, it's a compliment getter. It's going to get a little bit of attention, but it smells super clean and put together. The tonka bean really stands out here. Love how it's slightly powdery and a little bit sweet, really aromatic. It balances all of those things that I love: sweet, fresh, masculine. You cannot go wrong with this scent. Now, a lot of people complain about the longevity. I personally don't. I think it lasts just the right amount of time, projects just the right amount, especially in the first hour or two. Really great projector, so you can potentially overspray this one. It's also one of those fragrances that I think people tend to go anosmic to. It just has those elements in here that you might start going nose blind after an hour or so wearing this thing. So you still smell great, trust me. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Now this next one utilizes some of the same notes as the Chanel Allure Homme Sport, but it just doesn't translate the same way. Scent we are talking about is Dunhill Desire Blue. Now, for one, the quality is just not really up to snuff, personally, for me. And I've tried others from Dunhill that really smell of great quality, but this one, for me, smells a little synthetic. Has those sea notes here, so it is a little bit marine-like, ocean, water, aquatic type fragrance. Utilizes a fruit called lychee, which adds some sweet fruitiness up top. And then along with that is the mandarin orange and, of course, the tonka bean. So it is a slightly powdery fragrance, and that's kind of what you're getting here. You're getting maybe a less luxurious smelling Chanel Allure. So it's in the same wheelhouse as that scent. I just personally wouldn't reach for this one over the Chanel. So if you already own the Chanel, this is probably going to be a bit redundant. Now, they don't smell exactly alike, but they get you to the same place. I would reach for this in the same way I would reach for the Chanel. So it's redundant in that sense in my collection, but overall, it's not a bad fragrance. You're not, spending a ton of money here, but projection, longevity isn't really that great. And overall, it's a pretty generic smelling scent. So Dunhill Desire Blue wasn't the best scent I tried. Again, a recent rack store pickup, but for the price, you can do a lot worse. Dunhill Desire Blue. So believe it or not, there are 3 JPG fragrances on this list, Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is one of my favorites. This one is probably the least talked about JPG Lamal fragrance ever. Scent we are talking about is Lamal Airlines. Now what this one does beautifully, and the way I sort of describe this one, is it's a daytime Lamal. Summer daytime, but it uses this cardamom note that just smells absolutely amazing. Really fruity and spicy while still having a vanilla touch to it. It's just the vanilla isn't as dense, thick, or heavy as some of the other flankers in the line, and what lends it to the daytime usage that I spoke about. So I imagine this one being utilized as really kind of a casual daytime, maybe a Sunday with friends, maybe you're gonna just grab lunch somewhere by the water. This is going to fit that perfectly and really slept on, in my opinion. Now, I don't know how easy this is to find. Typically in the past, I've been able to link this fragrance for you guys to buy, and I will be linking all these fragrances in addition to this if I find it. But it is usually one of the lesser priced La Mal fragrances. So absolute steals can be had typically on this fragrance. Now, longevity is about average. It's nothing spectacular and it doesn't come up short for me personally. Really love this one, and I think you guys should definitely check this one out. Has a lot going on for it. Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mal Airlines. If I told you the notes in this next one were apple, lotus, mimosa, would you know what scent I'm talking about? Legendary Cheapie. Scent we're talking about is Nautica Voyage. Now, this one is getting pretty empty for me. I spray this one a lot. I enjoy smelling this one even on days that I'm not wearing it. There's something about Nautica Voyage, really bad atomizer, that is just really nostalgic for me in a lot of ways. Really pleasing. Just picking it up in there right now. It's just really soft and clean, fresh, a little bit aquatic. It reminds me of maybe being out on a boat on the weekend, really nice day, summertime. This is one that I just find effortless to reach for. And with all of the fragrances that I have in my collection, pricier niche, other inexpensive fragrances, I always go back to this one. It just smells fantastic. And I know a lot of you guys feel the same way as I do. Longevity, surprisingly good, especially for a fresh fragrance. I mean, there really isn't a drawback to buying this one. It's great. Nautica Voyage. So this next one is my most recent rack store pickup. And as I always do, those rack store pickups I wear that same week, just to give you guys a better sense of the overall wear of it, how it performed, that type of thing. Scent we are talking about is Roger and Gaulet's Franck Vieille. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. My French is spotty. But I really enjoyed this scent. I made a comment in that video where I thought, as good as this is, now atomizer, 10 out of 10. As good as this is, and now that I'm smelling it again in the air, really floral, does have kind of an old school vibe to it. Floral, citrus, neroli, super clean smelling, super citrusy. Smells mature. So this is going to be for a more mature guy. For me here, the use of the neroli, all of the citruses, it's done better in other things that I own. So fragrances like Bulgari, Manwood, Neroli, John Varvatos, Artisan Pure. Those are some neroli heavy fragrances with the orange, with the citrus that I really love that have a little bit of a modern feel to them. This is old school. So this is going to smell a little bit more mature than what a lot of you guys might be used to, or at least the younger guys might be used to. Not that you couldn't pull it off because it's pretty easy. I guess as mature as it smells and as old school as it smells, it's kind of timeless at the same time. So I don't think you need to worry too much about that. But for me, I have others in my collection that I would definitely reach for more over this one. That being said, longevity wasn't great. This is an eau de cologne concentration, so it didn't last that long, maybe 4 hours or so on my skin. You know, I didn't pay a lot of money for it. The quality is there. It smells of great quality. It's just probably not one that would get a ton of wear in my collection. And I'm just being 100 with you guys. Simple math, guys. I told you there are 3 Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances on this list. By power of subtraction, the last 2 fragrances I will be talking about are both from JPG. First one being that I wore on Friday, scent we are talking about is none other than Les Beaux. Now, I don't really know of any other fragrance that has gone more viral on my channel than this scent. And I just find it funny because leading up to me purchasing this one, it didn't get talked about a lot. So this has kind of had a resurgence of interest as of late. I always thought it smelled great. And the first time I had smelled this, I said, eventually I'm going to be getting a bottle of that. And with everything going on, there are so many options we have for fragrances. Middle Eastern clones, cheapies, more expensive niche, designers at every level, mid, high level. This is one that I would find myself recommending to a friend more often than not. And I have, and I've been complimented on this one by friends that have asked me what I'm wearing. I need to buy a bottle, and it's been this. Coconut, pulpy, fruity coconut. A lot of sweetness here. Blended with that tonka bean, so you get some of that powderiness, a little bit of a sexy edge to it. Incredible stuff. Now, a lot of people, I think, assume the Eau de Parfum is better than this, the EDT. I don't know why they assume that. For me personally, this DNA lends itself to the EDT concentration. It projects a little bit more and is just a little bit more attention grabbing, which is why I wear this one. In situations, particular situations, I'll wear this one. Now, when I wore it on Friday, we just went to a cookout. So no compliments, nothing like that, but it's kind of ideal for situations like that. Late afternoon cookouts, around 5 or 6 o'clock. This is personally, for me, one of my favorite night out summertime fragrances. So it was a no-brainer reaching for this one. I love it. Performance, it's not great. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great. So it's kind of in the middle, maybe just below average. But for me, again, how I wear this, that's not as important for me to get 8 or 9 hours. I'm not wearing this to the office. I'm not trying to get a full day's worth of work from this scent. It's more of a night out summertime fragrance for me. So 4 or 5 hours of performance is perfect. Jean Paul Gaultier's Les Beaux. This next one is without question one of my favorite fragrances. Again, easily in my top 10. Scent we're talking about is JPG's La Malle Les Parfums. Now, you have iris, cardamom, vanilla. It's just, it has a darkness to it, a slight richness without being heavy-handed in any one thing. I almost get a little bit of a boozy note too, in the air specifically. This has stunning sillage. This is another one that wears light. You might go a little bit nose blind to it and become anosmic, but people can absolutely still smell this on you. So this is a sneaky performer. This does last a long time. It's subtle, but where it shines is in its sillage. So as you're walking by people, as you're just moving through a room, this is going to grab attention of those around you. And it's so refined. It's so upscale smelling and put together. And I mean, the bottle speaks for itself. The all black bottle. I love it. Love the presentation here. And it does remind me of a well-dressed, put together guy going out and getting his crap done. Amazing scent. If you're going to own any La Malle, this is the one I say to go for. Over Elixir. I know Elixir this year has gotten a ton of hype. That one smells great too. It's not my favorite. This is my favorite. Still to this day, even more so than the original, which, spoiler alert, I'm not a huge fan of the OG. I like it. I'm not a huge fan. This, I'm a huge fan of. JPG, La Malle, Les Parfums. That's it, guys. All 7 fragrances that I wore last week. As always, I would love to know what your weekly rotation was. Drop it in the comment section down below. Even if it was one fragrance, drop it down there. I love seeing what you guys are wearing. But if you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.